So at this point, all we can really say is he's progressing through the protocol and will continue to follow as the week goes along and see if he's able to clear it in time to play Sunday.
And to make it 100% clear, in case there is anyone in the audience that doesn't fully understand, this is not going to be his decision. It is not going to be the team's decision, the coach's decision. This is completely out of all of their hands.
Well, what happens is a team doctor can clear him for contact, which would clear him to play in the game. Interesting, quarterbacks aren't contacted in practice. So the first time he'll have contact is a game. But once the team doctor does that, an independent neurological consultant jointly appointed by the league and the NFL Players Association has to sign off on that clearance before he can get out on the field. So yes, the league would have a say in whether he's able to play or not.
Dominique was the president of the Players Association when that rule went in, so we'll talk to him about it in a moment. But first, I want you to hear what Brett Favre said about this yesterday, a guy who obviously played all those years and never missed a game. And he had some interesting comments when it came to Mahomes and what he thinks Patrick should do this weekend.
I played 321 straight games. It kind of goes against everything that I stood for when I played. But you got to be smart. You got to be smart. I was never faced with a decision that he potentially will face this week. And ultimately, the decision may fall on the doctors. And if they choose that he doesn't play, then it's the right move because of long-term damage. And when you're in the moment and you're young, you're bulletproof, man. But I'm 51 years old, and I wonder what tomorrow will bring because of concussions more than anything.
It's jarring to hear, of all people, Brett Favre talking that way. So much here to unpack. Again, Neek and Damian Woody getting up with us this morning. And Dominique, I want to start with you because, again, you were the president of the Players Association when all of these rules about the independent neurologist and everything else came in. And what they are designed for, genuinely or generally, is to protect the player first and foremost from himself, right?
Absolutely. I think the point of having this independent neurologist is so that the player, because the players are always going to want to play in that situation, just like Brett was laying out there. But I think it's important to understand that even when you have an independent neurologist, as much as I want to say and want to take credit for being part of the negotiations that made the game safer, that's true, but it doesn't make it completely safe. So it's not like a broken bone. The independent neurologist is certainly going to be assessing the quarterback based on what he's saying, or the player in any case based on what he's saying. So after a particular vigorous workout, they ask them, do you have a headache? Are you still sensitive to light? So answering those questions honestly or inaccurately is still up to the player to some degree. We don't have all the information. It's not 100% clear, all the symptoms and all the ways that this thing can impact players long term. So I think when Brett Favre, specifically him, someone says something like what he said, it makes me concerned for what he's going through. And it also gives me pause for all players that are exposing themselves to this. We have to understand it's a very serious risk and it's not going away.
No question about it. But then when we sort of focus in on this game this weekend, Damian Woody, you played sort of leading right up to the time where this culture began to change. Do you believe that players' perspective on this has changed? Do you think players like player like Patrick Mahomes we saw him pop up and go running into the locker room. He looked like he wanted to go back on the field last Sunday. Do you think that the players' perspectives have changed on things like this?
I think to a certain degree. I think players are more educated about concussions and player safety than a guy like myself, who when, these things were kind of turned the corner early in my career. But ultimately, listen, players play. That's the mentality that a lot of players in the National Football League has had, either, during my time or even right now. So it's ultimately going to fall on the doctors. And like Dominique was saying, Patrick Mahomes to be, honest and forthright about his condition when he's going through this concussion protocol.
So let's make it very clear on what it is that hangs in the balance here. I said it yesterday, and I'll stand by it, Dominique Foxworth. With Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are the favorite in this game. Without him, it is at least one person's opinion, they have next to no chance of beating Buffalo. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right. And that is the pressure that Patrick Mahomes is feeling. Nobody wants to play more than him, and no players want to be on the field or want to be off the field in this moment. But I think you're right. Their chances go down significantly without Patrick Mahomes, despite the fact that they have a lot of awesome playmakers. And Patrick Mahomes knows that. And all the work that they've been doing all season frankly, all their lives have gotten them to this point, to this opportunity, and no one wants to miss that opportunity. No one wants to be on the sideline in a parka cheering for guys in this situation, but Brett Favre laid it out. There are more important things in life than this one game, but at the moment, when you're in that game, you really can't imagine that there's anything more important than winning at that one moment, which, as crazy as that sounds, we've all been there, and we know how it feels when you get to that. Well, we all haven't been there, but you know what I mean, Greeny.
Well, Damian Woody has been there. Why are you shaking your head when he's saying that, D. Wood?
Greeny, I'm trying to tell you, man, I know how players think, and I've been in that situation before where, you have this type of injury, and you're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about, when I'm 50. You're thinking about right here, right now. You don't want to let your teammates down. You know that this opportunity might not ever come back around. So you're willing to sacrifice. That's the mindset of players. And that's just being honest about the situation. So, I hope Patrick Mahomes make the right decision, in this time. But that's just giving you, the idea of what's in a player's mind in this particular moment.
And quickly to button it, Graziano, we watched today, you made the point earlier, even if Mahomes is on the practice field today, it does not mean for certain that he plays on Sunday, right?
Right. There's a stage at which he's cleared for football activity. He can be on a side field throwing the football, right? Not near the rest of his teammates. There's a stage where he's cleared to practice. And again, he could be so yeah, you can look at what he does the next couple of days and draw certain conclusions about where he stands in the protocol. But it's very important for everybody to remember that you can go right back to the start of the protocol the second you show symptoms again.
And to be clear, Vegas tells us if he plays, the Chiefs are the favorite. If he doesn't play, the Bills are the favorite. That's what hangs in the balance in the AFC. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.